But that was her. She undermined and made us feel like we were third-class citizens. And that is not to say that there's anything wrong with any person who works on buses or under buses, because the most important person in my life, male person in my life, was Daddy Martin. And Daddy Martin worked in CIE. And she, knowing the attachment I had with Daddy Martin, she was trying to hurt him as well as me. So that's 84. Yeah. Right. Then it goes to finding parents. Then it goes to travelling to Africa to still try and find out. Then it goes to 1992 and all the people who spoke. Then it goes to 1996 and more people speaking. Then it goes to 1999. So until that time, and all of those years, we were not being believed. What made it believable at long last? Because we were nothing. Remember, a professional said that we were suffering with false memory. That what had happened to us was the rejection of our parents, and we were transferring that rejection to the people who were caring for us, the religious. I note there is not a peep out of that one today, or any of those sympathisers who sympathised with that abuser and thousands others. Now the historic facts came out, which helped to cement it. But my point is, if that woman in 1984 had taken a half an hour to meet with me and to try and sort this out, but maybe that in hindsight is a good thing that she didn't, because I didn't know that all of these hellholes were dotted around the country.
People knew what was happening in Goldenbridge. People on the street knew what was happening in Goldenbridge and in Artane and other places. Children were threatened that if they didn't behave, they'd be sent there. Well, if it was a good place to be where children were cared for, why were they threatened with being sent there if they didn't behave? We hear stories of children when they were out from the institutions being mocked, having stones thrown at them by people in the community. These were the most marginalised children within our society. And they were made invisible, they were vanished, and they were treated as less than human. Not just by the system that placed them there, but the society that simply abandoned them once they were put there. And we need to take ownership and responsibility for that.
But I would argue that the society at the time, and certainly the people that lived around Goldenbridge, were poor. But then lots of people were poor in Ireland. And they didn't have a voice either. But certainly the Department of Education didn't give a hoot. They sent an inspector every year. 3 of us were kept up all night.
And they tipped off the institutions before the inspector arrived down.
12 weeks' notice. About 3 of us did the curriculum from 1st class to 6th class. They kept us up for 3 weeks. They beat us stupid. Then, when the inspector came, we went into 1st class. We were ordered to hunch down to look as if we were 7 or 8. Then, as the inspector was going to the next class, we were flung out a window, grabbed in another window. Now we're in 2nd. Now we're in 3rd. Now we're in 4th. Now we're in 5th. Now we're in 6th. And those inspectors one inspector saw all of this. Did he think that the 3 of us that I had 5 identical sisters? He knew perfectly well. And then they went in to the parlour where they got 9 to 11 chops while we ate the rabbit's faeces. There was a monkey in Goldenbridge, Jenny. That monkey lived in a palace as far as we were concerned. The nuts, the bananas, the whole lot. And that monkey was taken on that one's shoulder and brought into the dining room each day, masturbating and jumping on top of all of us. And if we budged, we were beaten stupid. they had a dog, Tossa, who took lumps out of children's legs. It was, words will never, ever express what they did to us. And then, when we did go into the psychiatric services, and I can only speak for myself in this regard, with breakdowns, I wasn't believed there either. When I developed bulimia, I wasn't believed then. When I developed anorexia, I wasn't believed then. When I tried to kill myself, and when I'm saying I, so many of our people did likewise. And tragically, some succeeded. And never, ever once did a psychiatrist say, hold on a moment here. Never once going to Dr. Stephen's Hospital with getting stitches from my knee up to my hip from a beating. And I fell. There is no way that you could fall at the angle and still, and we were up and down like yo-yos to Dr. Stephen's Hospital, because remember, when you went there, there were serious injuries, and still nobody asked a question. And the doctor that came to Goldenbridge was fed with the sherry on arrival and on departure.